welcome in and happy Friday. We made it another week closer to Philadelphia Phillies baseball. Spring training is really just right around the corner now. At this point, we are getting so close. It's been a long offseason, but we are almost there. Before we get into this, welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Much appreciated. Now, before I get into the actual topics today, it's just a couple little quick things I wanted to hit on. I'm sure you saw by now, but the New York Yankees re-signed outfielder Cody Bellinger to a 5-year, $162.5 million contract in free agency. A lot of people thought he could be a possibility throughout this offseason, throughout this free agency period for the Phillies, but obviously did not happen with him returning to the Yankees on that massive 5-year deal. I never really thought it made too much sense because, again, he's another left-handed hitting outfielder. The Phillies don't really need that with already having Brandon Marsh, with having their top prospect, Justin Crawford, being a left-handed hitter as well coming up. They have a lot of lefties in the lineup as well overall. So paying an older guy, not older, but a guy who's about 30 years old on a pretty large financial commitment like Cody Bellinger, another left-handed hitting outfielder, just didn't really make sense for the Phillies. Aaron Nola, also, you may have seen, he will pitch for Team Italy in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. Now, he is from Louisiana, as we all know, but he does have Italian ancestry, so he is eligible to pitch for Team Italy, and he will do so in the World Baseball Classic. So that's another one of our Phillies player performing and playing in this year's World Baseball Classic for you to tune into if you so choose to do so. Zach Wheeler, the Phillies ace, well, I should say one of the Phillies aces, because obviously Christopher Sanchez is an ace now these days as well. Zach Wheeler, he's recovering from his thoracic outlet syndrome diagnosis, surgery, all that stuff. They expect him to come back pretty much 100%, if not by opening day. Very close, I should say, short into the season, not too deep into the season. They believe he will be back very soon, if not by opening day. Now, we did get a bit of an update, nothing really too crazy, but a bit of an update from Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, the other day. He said Zach Wheeler has thrown up to 90 feet, but not necessarily throwing on the mound yet, but he's thrown the distance. So take that however you want to take it. But Zach Wheeler is still progressing, which is good to see. Rob Thompson also said that Zach Wheeler had a heavy workload for him last week, so that's good. But he also mentioned that there is no timetable for him to return, but so far reports have been good on Zach Wheeler. So that's good news for us as Phillies fans, for the Phillies themselves, for Zach Wheeler. Hopefully he can return to his previous form of obviously being a Cy Young candidate and really one of the Cy Young favorites. That will be awesome for the Phillies in this 2026 season if they want any shot of winning a World Series, especially after losing Ranger Suarez in free agency. You don't really know what you're getting out of Andrew Painter, their top prospect, coming up to the Major League rotation most likely here in 2026. So if Wheeler can't get back to where he was before, you don't really know what you have from Andrew Painter. We all know Aaron Nola is trying to rebound from a tough 2025 season. And then you just have Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo. So you really need Zach Wheeler to hopefully be back to that same Zach Wheeler form we've seen so many years here with the Phillies. I believe he will, but that's just the way it goes here. So let's get right into the actual topics here today. And I didn't want to end on a bad note because it's Friday and I don't want to end going into the weekend on a bad note. So I'll begin talking about it. The New York Mets, as we all know, have been making big moves recently and really all offseason long. Are the Phillies starting to fall behind their top National League competition here for a World Series? Obviously, the Dodgers are bringing back-to-back World Series champions. They beat the Phillies in 4 games in this past playoffs in the NLDS. The Dodgers added some significant talent this offseason, but the New York Mets, the immediate competition for the Phillies in their own division in the National League East, along with the Atlanta Braves. Don't count out the Braves because they are a very good team. They are a World Series caliber team, have great players. They were just battling with so many tough injuries in 2025, which is why they missed the playoffs and had a tough year. But if they're healthy, expect the Braves to be right up there again as well. It's going to be a tough division between the Phillies, Braves, and the Mets now. The Mets, crazy moves for them recently. We all know they added Bo Bichette, came in last minute, pretty much stealing him away from the Phillies. So he's added to the equation. They also just recently traded for Luis Robert Jr. We all know that name because the Phillies have been linked to Luis Robert Jr. for what feels like forever now in trade rumors, but those are put to rest now because he is now a New York Met. They traded for Luis Robert Jr. from the Chicago White Sox. Now, Luis Robert Jr., his numbers and consistency hasn't really been there the past 2 years, but he is still a very, very good and very talented player, talented outfielder. I believe he just needed a change of scenery out of a very bad Chicago White Sox team, and he's definitely getting that with a very good New York Mets lineup and just team overall. So that'll probably be good for Luis Robert Jr., probably not good for the Phillies because now they have to face him in the division, and he's on, obviously, a now loaded New York Mets team. Luis Robert Jr., the things that have really been killing his career so far, extensive injury history, and again, playing on a bad White Sox team. He was the 2020 American League Rookie of the Year runner-up, and he won a Gold Glove that year in 2020 in his rookie year, so came in to the majors with a bang, and then had a couple good years, and then again, just a bunch of injuries throughout his career, and just playing on a bad team have really derailed his career as of late, especially over the last 2 years. But he was a 2023 All-Star, Silver Slugger that year, and he was a top 12 finisher in the American League MVP race in 2023. He batted .264 with a .315 on base, .542 slugging, .857 OPS, 36 doubles, 1 triple, 38 home runs, 80 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases in 145 games in that tremendous 2023 season with the White Sox. That's when a lot of people really thought he was the next best thing. But again, 2024 and 2025 just dealt with a lot more injuries and inconsistency and playing on a really historically bad Chicago White Sox team, which has really impacted his overall numbers. 33 stolen bases, though, in 110 games this past year in 2025. That was a career high in stolen bases. So he's a guy that can give you 30 home runs or more, 30 stolen bases or more in a season. So that is really good, obviously, for him and for the Mets. Unfortunately, .393 career playoff hitter in 7 career playoff games, 28 at-bats, so some success in his kind of little playoff history, but that's good for the Mets too, who are obviously hoping to be a playoff team and a World Series caliber team here in 2026. Still young, still in his prime, 28 years old, center fielder. He's got speed, he's got power, he plays elite defense. He's really got everything you want as long as he can stay on the field healthy. Again, I believe he just needed a change of scenery, getting off that bad White Sox team. Now he's going to play in a much better situation, in a much better Mets lineup, which would only benefit him there. Unfortunately, again, for the Phillies, he will be making $20 million here with the Mets in 2026. He's under a $20 million club option. He also has a $20 million club option for next year in 2027, or he could become a free agent and it could just end up being a one-year rental kind of for the Mets and Robert Jr. But he also, being 20 years old, having all this potential, having all the tools you want in an outfielder, center fielder at the major league level, could be a potential long-term solution for the Mets in center field, in their outfield, which, again, probably not good news for the Phillies moving forward. And then another move we all know, maybe you don't know, but the Mets also traded for Freddie Peralta from the Milwaukee Brewers. He is an elite starting pitcher. They needed some starting pitching help as well as outfield help. They addressed both of them in 2 big trades recently with Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox and now Freddie Peralta with the Brewers. Peralta, 2-time All-Star, 2021 his first time. This past year in 2025, he was an All-Star as well. Still young enough and in the prime of his career as well. 29-year-old right-handed pitcher, starter, as I mentioned. 17-6 in 2025 he had a record of with the Brewers with a 2.70 ERA, 1.075 whip, 204 strikeouts, 176 and 2/3 innings pitched in 2025. He came in 5th in Cy Young voting in the National League. So a very, very elite season out of Freddie Peralta and just a very good career for him so far. 3.59 ERA across his 8-year career in the major leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers. He is on a pretty much of a bargain deal here, you could say, in 2026, especially after the year he just put up in 2025, making $8 million on an option for this season in 2026 that the Mets will owe him. And then he will be a free agent after the season. So it could be just a one-year rental as well, just like Luis Robert Jr., or it could be a long-term solution in their starting rotation, just like Robert Jr. could be in the outfield. So the Mets obviously made a lot of notable additions, which just hurts the Phillies' chances, not only in their division to win it for the 3rd consecutive season, but to make the playoffs and to win a World Series. Adding Luis Robert Jr., adding Freddie Peralta, adding Bo Bichette, adding Jorge Polanco, Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, they made a lot of significant moves this offseason. I'm probably missing a guy too as well. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but a lot of significant additions by the Mets. Obviously, significant additions by the Los Angeles Dodgers as well, the Phillies' other top competition in the National League. And that leads me into, I believe, a lockout is definitely looming here for the 2027 season. You've probably heard that already, but it's really seeming like it's inevitable at this point. MLB owners are reportedly pushing for a salary cap. Team execs, quote, raging after Kyle Tucker signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers on that 4-year deal recently as well. The MLB and MLBPA collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, expires at the end of the 2026 season, at the end of the year. So that's why a lot of people believe that a lockout will happen in 2027, mostly because of this salary cap is such a big topic of discussion and so controversy and really polarizing. We all know how Bryce Harper, he knows or thinks about the salary cap and the potential for that. He publicly let that be known when Rob Manfred, the baseball's commissioner, was talking to the Phillies in their clubhouse. Bryce Harper apparently really just yelled at him, cursed him out, all that kind of stuff about it. And some other players didn't agree with it as well. Some players wanted to hear Manfred out. But Bryce Harper, known to be against the salary cap, and there's a lot of players, a lot of people around Major League Baseball that are against it as well. A lot of people in favor of it. So we'll see what happens. Maybe a lockout happens, and a lot of people do believe it's going to happen, especially with the moves the Dodgers have been making in recent years, just really just creating a super team, all-star studded team out there, out west, going for their third consecutive World Series title in 2026. Switching gears here, I was letting you guys know the top 10 prospects at each positions when a Phillies minor leaguer was in it by MLB Pipeline. We're releasing their top 10 at each positions. They recently did shortstops. I didn't talk about it yet. Aiden Miller on that list for MLB Pipeline with the Phillies. He was ranked the number 9 shortstop prospect for 2026 by MLB Pipeline out of the top 10 for this upcoming season. 21-year-old right-handed infielder, we all know. Phillies number 2 prospect per MLB Pipeline. Struggled early in AA, played well down the stretch. Actually earned a late season promotion after playing so well down the stretch in AA to AAA. Batted .333 with 2 doubles, 1 home run, an RBI, and 7 stolen bases in 8 games at AAA to end the season in 2025. Very small sample size, but did have immediate success at the AAA level, which is great to see, especially from a young kid who did struggle a lot earlier in the season at the level below in AA. He's got speed. He has elite defensive skills. He's expected to be a pretty good hitter at the major league level. Third Phillies prospect in the top 10 at their respective position by MLB Pipeline's rankings for the 2026 season. Andrew Painter, he was ranked number 4 for right-handed pitching prospects. Arun Escobar ranked number 7 out of second base prospects. Top 100 actually are going to be released or have already been released here today on Friday. I'm making this video Thursday night, so I don't know the full top 100 list, so I can't tell you the exact spots that these guys have fallen onto between Andrew Painter, Arun Escobar, and Aiden Miller. But 80 prospects have been revealed in the top 10 at each position group between catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, right-handed pitching, left-handed pitching, and outfield. Outfield was one category. It wasn't left field, center field, right field. So, unfortunately, Justin Crawford was not on the top 10 outfield prospects, but I'm sure he's definitely going to be in the top 100 for MLB Pipeline when that is revealed. I'll let you guys know on Monday when we're back at it, all these guys' specific numbers in the top 100. But the Phillies do have a lot of good young talent in their minor league system, which is good to see. And a lot of guys obviously ready to hopefully help this major league club, the big league club at the big league level here in 2026, infusing some youth into this aging lineup, aging roster. Speaking of the aging lineup, aging roster, and a rankings and top whatever, top 100, MLB Network's top 100 players right now list have been revealed. Again, I'm making this video before the top 10 had been revealed. I believe that actually happened last night on Thursday night. I'm making this video Thursday night before that was revealed, though. Top 100 Phillies were well represented on the top 100. Kyle Schwarber, he was their top ranked player for the MLB Network's top 100 players right now list heading into the 2026 season. He was ranked 17th on that top 100, Phillies' highest player this year. 65 was his ranking heading into the 2025 season last year, so significant jump for the 2025 National League MVP runner-up for Kyle Schwarber, and he's obviously back on this 5-year, $150 million contract he signed in this offseason in free agency. Other Phillies on the top 100 players right now list where Trey Turner was the next highest at 25. That was an increase from him from the previous season. He was at 35 in 2025. Christopher Sanchez, the Cy Young runner-up in 2025. He was ranked 29th on the top 100 list this year, not ranked heading into the 2025 season, so obviously a very good recognition for Christopher Sanchez. Bryce Harper, the face of the Phillies franchise, he's ranked 32 this year. He was actually ranked 12th last year in 2025, so a little bit of a dip for Bryce Harper heading into this season, but we all know he's looking for a big rebound season here in 2026. Hopefully, we get it out of him. And then Zach Wheeler, the veteran ace, ranked 51. He was 19 in 2025. A little bit of a dip for him as well, but that's expected because he obviously missed the end of the regular season and the playoffs for the Phillies with his diagnosis and surgery. He was in the Cy Young conversation for most of the season, so if he finished out that season in 2025, he definitely would have been higher on this list. So you have Kyle Schwarber at 17, Trey Turner 25, Christopher Sanchez 29, Bryce Harper 32, Zach Wheeler 51. Those are all the current Phillies on the MLB Network's top 100 players right now list heading into the 2026 season. Again, top 10 revealed Thursday night. No Phillies on it because obviously when you have the MVP runner-up, the Cy Young runner-up already on the list, you have Bryce Harper already on the list, the 2025 NL batting title, Trey Turner, already on the list, Zach Wheeler already on the list. There's really nobody else to be higher than Kyle Schwarber's ranking at 17. But still good representation for the Phillies. They are a great team. We all know it. I talked about the Mets adding a lot of talent, obviously trying to compete with a team like the Phillies immediately in their own division and for a World Series in 2026. But the Phillies have a star-studded team of their own, although we all might think they're not at this point. They still are. They had the second best record in the majors in 2025, came up short in the playoffs against the eventual World Series champions, back-to-back NL East titles the past 2 years. So still a really good team. We're going to have some of this youth in here. We got some new faces in the bullpen, Adolis Garcia, some other moves as well. It's going to be a fun season, so stay tuned here at Phillies Daily. We'll be still breaking it down all off-season long and then right into the spring training and season. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. Again, Phillies Daily is Phillies Monday through Friday throughout the offseason, so no video tomorrow or Sunday. Be safe and have a fun, relaxing weekend with whatever you do. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Much appreciated. And as always, go Phils.